Check it out, check it out, check it out. Mac Foley here, bringing you a game of Hardpoint on Yemen. Today I'm going to be using the SMR with Select Fire, Silencer, and I do believe, nope, just Select Fire and Silencer. So today I'm going to talk about Hardpoint in general, kind of how you can emphasize doing good, fitting the game mode to your playstyle, and good guns to use, good techniques, yada yada. And then also about assault rifles, and in my opinion the best set of assault rifles, what makes them the best, and how to put them to good use, what game modes, how to do so. So first off, talking about Hardpoint, this game mode can either be looked at as one of those game modes where you're like, oh, I'm gonna try this, you try it out and it's just the worst thing you've ever tried, or it can go differently. Hardpoint's good if you have 3 to 6 person team, or you're playing with somebody else, playing with a single person who's really good, or you and that person together play good. You just emphasize each other's play styles really well. And that is when Hardpoint is the best, because Hardpoint, way to optimize performance in Hardpoint is to have a team consisting mostly of people going for the Hardpoint, defending the Hardpoint, getting those points to win and be ahead, and then also you need people on your team to be running around flanking the enemies, making sure that they don't get the hard point, but in other ways than just sitting on the hard point and killing them as they come. Now, if you're more of a rush player, it's probably best if you go for the objective itself, because that's where everybody's going, and you'll be finding a lot of close quarters combat, because most of the kills you'll be getting as a hardpoint defender are actually on the hardpoint and close range, like in this building here. There's 3 people in here. And that was just a good tactic of going through the back. They weren't expecting, 2 of them were, but they were at the window, and as you can see, the SMR with the select fire capabilities can beat pretty much, well, actually in my opinion, can beat all guns at all ranges, no matter what. Now, moving on to assault rifles, and this gun in particular, the best set of assault rifles in my opinion are between the SWAT 5.56, MAA1, FAL, and the SMR. Now, those are all the guns that don't fire fully auto when you first start using them. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, I don't really want to use a shitty-ass semi-auto or a burst-fire gun, but in Black Ops 2, feature they put in is Select Fire, and you can use that on any semi-auto or burst-fire weapon, and when you do use the Select Fire option, which is left on the D-pad, it turns your gun into a full auto. And this actually sounds better than it might appeal to you at first. The FAL, when on full auto, shoots about as fast as, I want to say, the AN-94, maybe a little slower, but the FAL is 2-shot chest shot, 2-shot headshot, and 3-shot leg waist, maybe 3-shot waist shot as well. I might be wrong on that, but I know that the SMR is a 2-shot chest shot, 2-shot leg shot at pretty decent ranges, and with the silencer that decreases that a little bit. So those 2 weapons are already more powerful single shot than any of the other assault rifles, but when you add into the fact that you can turn them full auto, it just makes them monsters at any range. You put a laser sight on it with Select Fire, and you can beat pretty much, that I've noticed with the SMR, I can beat any submachine gun at close range with that, because it's a 2-shot weapon, and with the laser sight it's very accurate. And those 2 guns, in my opinion, are the 2 best guns in the game. But then the next 2, SWAT 5.56 and the MAA1, you can also do the Select Fire, and it turns them from burst to full auto, making the difference not as good, or not as much of an improvement, because they were 3- and 4-shot weapons opposed as a 1-shot weapon. But the SWAT 5.56, at least me handling it, I haven't tested it, I haven't set up timers or anything going off at the beginning of a clip to the end of the clip, but the SWAT 5.56, after using every gun in the game, seems to fire the fastest out of anything when on Select Fire mode, as opposed to anything bare. Now, if you put rapid fire on a gun or anything like that, it's going to shoot faster than the SWAT 5.56, but in my opinion, just from handling it, it does appear to fire the fastest out of any gun in the game. And the M8A1 becomes, with laser sight, suppressor, and select fire, or just laser sight and select fire, becomes the, in my opinion, best hip firing weapon there is. It's ridiculously fast, pretty decent damage, and has almost no recoil at all. So those are the best assault rifles in my opinion. Outside of those four, in terms of the fully automatic, I like the Type 25, but still, I don't think even the Type 25 can muster up to the worst out of the four, which I think is the M8, and then the SWAT, and then the FAL, and then the SMR. That's my order of that. Now, for hardpoint, using an assault rifle, one of two things you can do. Camping the hardpoint, but that's an obvious choice with any gun there is, going for the hardpoint always. Or kind of going around the map, not so much around the whole map, but just kind of doing sort of a U or C shape around where the hardpoint is, back and forth, or staying near the hardpoint but not necessarily on the hardpoint. This can keep enemies at bay that are going for the hardpoint. It can also lead to you getting score streaks, and every now and then hopping on the hardpoint to get that 200 hardpoint catch, or killing the enemies on the hardpoint and then capturing it. Now, to emphasize getting score streaks in hardpoint, you can see getting the hardpoint is 200 points, and 200 points, though it doesn't seem like too much, is the equivalent of 2 kills. And getting a kill on the hardpoint is worth 125, which is not that much compared to 100, but when you boost that with the 200 that you got for getting the hardpoint, that's 200, and every 4 kills you're granted an extra 100. So if you think of it this way, 4 kills on a hardpoint and a hardpoint cap is a lightning strike. And with that lightning strike, you can keep more enemies off the hardpoint, stay in the hardpoint longer, keep getting more hardpoint kills, so on and so forth. So to get score streaks in hardpoint, the most important thing is to, in my opinion, just not die. And that's an obvious thing with any score streak, because it is a streak and you can't die. But I mean to not die because of the opportunity that you can get in hardpoint from flanking or from anything like that. You can go from a 0 score streak to all of a sudden 3 enemies are on the hardpoint, you run in, kill 3 of them, and get the 300, and you're looking at 575 points right there off the bat. Now, that makes hardpoint a good game mode, or very good game mode for score streaking, but at the same time a difficult one, because if it's not done right, you're basically running around getting 100 points at a time. Going back to the SMR itself, as you guys can see, it is tearing apart everything at any range. I'm coming, in buildings, and I'm sniping out, I'm killing people, sniping out snipers, better so than I could do with an actual sniper itself. I'm sabotaging close range, I'm even doing a little hip fire, I don't have any laser sight. This gun is very, very good. I suggest you guys try it, and there's been multiple times this game, not necessarily a triple kill, but I've killed 3 or more people with just 1 clip. In terms of my score streaks I'm using Lightning Strike, Stealth Chopper, and Lodestar. I like to break the score streaks into, at least in my head, 3 different categories: low, medium, and high. The low being, at least for me, between UAV and Lightning Strike, the mid being between Hellfire and Stealth Chopper, and then the high being between Orbital VSAT and Swarm. I like to do a low, medium, and high, but that's a high-low, a high-medium, and then a mid-high. A mid-high being the Lodestar, and the 2 high, lows, and mid score streaks are the Lightning Strike and the Stealth Chopper. Now, the Lightning Strike is usually only good for between 1 and 3 kills. Sometimes you can get lucky. There is those times where you get big multi kills with the Lightning Strike. But a lot of the times, for me, Lightning Strike I see is one of those score streaks that's at a certain point where it can be achieved in a matter of 5 seconds in a game mode like hardpoint, and when it is achieved in something, in a situation like that, you can use it very quickly to not necessarily get a bunch of kills, but to keep enemies off of you or off an objective Lightning strikes are really great in hardpoint because if you're on the hardpoint and you just got that lightning strike and the enemies are swarming, you can put the 3 of them at, let's just say, 3 entrances to the building, or a line leading up to the building, providing enough support for you to keep that hardpoint long enough to win the match, or providing enough support for you to get into better positioning and keep getting those kills and points you need to get the next score streak you have set up. Now, I am Mac fully. I use the SMR silence with select fire on Yemen. The game mode was hardpoint, and I went 76 and 11. Thank you guys for joining, and have a good one.
Shoot her down!